Compassion towards the needy and unfortunate is an essential virtue that every human being should possess. Only through this can one rise to the occasion of participating in a charitable act. Amy Erundanga, the CEO of Miss Koch Kenya, having identified the need in our community, decided to try and find solutions in the best way she knew possible.
My name is Amy Erundanga, the Chief Executive Director of Miss Koch Kenya. And this organization, I would want to say, it's an organization that started really way back in 2001 as a community-based organization, but we later on transitioned to a non-governmental organization in 2010, where we received our official certificate for an NGO. As an organization, it started its work in Korogosho to just emphasize on girls and women protection, where violence and impunity was rife among girls and elderly women. So that caused us to give back to an organization that would champion for the rights of both children, girls and women. But not so much saying leaving the boys behind, because also the boys were the ones who were rallying for the safety of the female gender within the community.
Situated in the shanty towns of Korogosho, Nairobi's fourth largest slum, where insecurity, unemployment and poverty exposes its residents, especially the youth, to greater risks, Miss Koch, who derived its name from Korogosho, started out as a community-based organization and later on transitioned to an NGO.
We are the grassroots. So when we are within this community setup, we feel this is the only best place we can execute our mandate as a grassroots institution. So we don't fancy going up there, but this is where it's a heartbeat. So this is where everything and action takes place, and we know if we move away from the constituents that we serve, and it's a community-centered, I would say, institution, it wouldn't be a good thing. I'd rather say, yes, let's just have, this is our headquarters, so let's just have our work and activity within the constituents that we're serving and within where we feel, okay, I feel comfortable here. Even if someone tells me, Amy, we've got some nice office we want to relocate to, I'll take time to think through it and I'll be like, no, I'm okay just staying here, because this is where, when I engage people from the community and they still come here, they don't need to pay fares to come to this office. I don't need to pay transport to go walking into the community, So it is, for us and for me, it's the perfect place that the organization ever thought of to be.
Working through community leaders and several partners, Amy has helped in building a strong group of volunteers who aid in making the project a success. On their menu list is education, scholarships, mentorship, and awareness creation for young people, especially the girl child, and many other youthful activities.
So far, we have 4 thematic areas where we work in to support the communities within and without. That is education and mentorship, where we have children that are under a mentorship program, over 400 of them, and also parental guidance and counseling that we also giving to the parents to help their children grow well and also understand their needs in different fields. We also have, under the same program, a scholarship arm that started way back in 2003 to champion for the girls' education, and not only girls but also boys. So far, I would proudly say we've transitioned over 100 young people, both male and female, and currently I have over 30 both boys and girls at the universities, in different universities around Kenya, and some of them have already finished and working to support communities and their families, which I will always say and pride in as an achievement, that when you educate one, you're educating the larger community. So that gives us the essence of being known as an institution that champions for education, and not only for girls but also for the different gender. And the other program we have is Talents and Entrepreneurship Program, where we have outfits that are supporting young people who have not transitioned well in school, but they have skills or they have ability to do something. So in this case, we've tried to help young people transform into different outfits. Like we have a DJing academy where we started it in 2011, transitioning over 120 young people who have so far been trained as DJs, and they can earn out of it. And I'm priding in it because one of the programs officer who is running the program is our beneficiary who started in 2011. He is called DJ Y254. So when you look at that, it's something that is giving you hope. Then we have also photography and videography, where we've also trained over like 30 boys and girls who've gone through, and they can attest that they have the skill to engage out there to earn a decent livelihood.
We have an open space for volunteers. We, by and large, do not restrict how long you want to volunteer with us. If you want to give us labor, if you want to give us material. So there are some times we find that we actually need to help a household, for example. They do not have even household equipment, furniture, and that kind of a thing. So what we do, we just reach out to well wishers. If you can give us money, well and good. If you can give us clothes that you do not use, we'll receive them gladly. Mattresses, beds, utensils, and that kind of a thing.
Her good cause to the community has earned her the name Mom by the locals, who recognize the efforts she puts in the betterment of their living.
Education is not everything. If you miss out on one element, you can catch it up in another element. So when we train some DJs, some of them came here as reformed gangsters, and I'm happy that we have a DJ who's reformed and he's doing well into his space. We have other boys who came here and they told me, Amy, if you're not going to help us see through, I'll turn into a gangster. And so when I look at a young spirited soul that is willing to do something, and they tell you if they don't get this, they'll turn into this, I really get so much, like I'm affected that I need to do something. And in fact, I have a nickname. They call me Mom. So I'm a mother for many young people within the Korogosho environment, or those who've encountered my path. They don't know me by any other name, but they refer to me as Mom. And I know if you walk down Korogosho, you'll be like, Mama, umekuja tunajua umekaa mna mazuri. So I mean, every other time is like when they see a mother, they see like hope, they see joy, and that's what Miss Koch is all about, giving hope.
With a typical family in these shanties comprising of single mothers and hustlers who feed from hand to mouth, the most vulnerable are women, and therefore, a lot of sensitization needs to be done to the government at the national level on matters affecting people in the community.
Working in households, I would imagine that we don't have leadership. Because number one, you work in a household where there is raw sewer flowing in the households, there are kids playing out there. You're talking to people whose health is in shit. I mean, it's like, it's a total disarray. I mean, when you look at these people, you feel like, are we a victim of circumstance to be in a country where no one cares? Like no one cares. We have our governance and human rights and governance program that also works with the leadership that we say. We have to be clear with the leadership that we have of the day, from the office of the president to the office of the chief or the MCAs. How do we hold them accountable?
So far, with the help of many other willing supporters, she has been able to distribute over 2,000 hampers to the community and enroll quite a number in the education program. Although every beautiful rose has thorns attached, Amy chooses to fight the good fight as she awaits her victory.
During this time that we've been doing what we're doing, we've encountered quite a number of issues. There's one issue also we've encountered. It's with the police of an older man defiling her own child. You can't even think about that. Young child. You ask yourself, what is wrong with people? Maybe what is going on in people's minds? Is it depression? Is it lack of joy? I can't really explain. But what we face out here, at one point you just feel like this is quite too much. Even for us as a smaller institution, I always say we are not so big. If you are big like you're an agency, I'm telling you, this place will just like be changed because we are the change agents. We are not waiting for any angel to come and change these areas. But the people that come through this space and getting support, I believe they're the ones that are going to create an impact within the societies that we live in. It is hard, but I know at one point we will achieve it together with the like-minded people and the right mindset that we are trying to set to our young people.
The core business of this good initiative is serving the community, and while at it, putting a smile on the faces of the beneficiaries.
These are some of the families when we've been doing listing, going door to door to just identify the needs that we get on the field. These are the scenarios that we find, like some of my team of staff and the volunteers that are working together with us, they identified this and they shared with us that Lelo was almost being kicked out of the house because of rent arrears. And so the landlord was adamant not to allow her in. But one of my members, staff, Apollo, got like remorse and he said, no, let me deal with the landlord to pay the arrears and the month's rent. And so that's when he paid the 3,000. But the lady's situation was really bad because she was pregnant, and you can't be sending out a pregnant woman just because she's owing you rent. And these are some of the issues that I told you. When you see how the families in Korogosho are really living at the moment, and in this time of the pandemic, it's really hard. Like, how can they put food on the table? There is rent to pay. There are children to care for. So at times even putting a meal on a table is an issue.
My name is DJ Splash. I work for Prime Events. In the meantime, tunawakna the Miss Koch go as a volunteer to give out this food. Tuna appreciate sana everyone who is giving out the food to the community. Asanteni sana. And we want to call everyone out there who has the capability to support the society and our communities in the slums and other places, tafadhali do something.
Amy's good gesture is not in vain, as other residents are following suit.
Mimi naitwa Margaret Waithera Wamboi. Naishi tu hapa Getadhuro. Nimezaliwa Getadhuro, nimelelewa Getadhuro. Kwa bahati mzuri ama mbaya, wazazi wangu walikufa nikiwa na miaka 14. So nikiwa na hiyo miaka 14 nilikuwa nimeshaanza kujilipia rent. Sasa ile shida yenye nilikuwa nayo, sitakai kuona mtu akiona shida kama yangu. Hiyo yenye nilikuwa najilipia rent na save 10 bob kila siku. Sikuwahi tumia pad nikiwa msichana. Na save 10 bob kila siku ndio nilipe rent. Juu nyumba yangu ilikuwa 300 kwa mwezi. Sasa nikitembea in case nione mtu akona shida na naweza msaidia, mu jaribu venye naweza saidiana. Sasa nilikuwa nimekuja kutembelea mtoto disable hapa. Nikakuja hapa nikapata huyu madam ni mgonjwa na inzi zilikuwa zinamjalilia kila mahali. Sasa mimi vile nilikuja nikaguzwa.
Even though sustaining the organization and its objectives has been a hiccup, Amy is confident that her goals will be achieved, as success depends on the strategies put in place.
We put all elements together and we tell our young people that you can be, who you want to be in life depending on how you set yourself right. If your strategies are right and you're disciplined and you have clear objectives, then the sky is the limit, I'll say, and that's what we'll say.
It's been so challenging Working at Miss Koch, particularly in terms of resources, we are a small organization at the grassroots level, and what that also gives us is a huge presence in the community that we serve. So we are well known to the community around, and when they are faced with whatever kind of a problem, of course they do not think whether we can't or we can't do, because they see the little things we do, like sponsoring kids to school, doing trainings, nurturing their talents. We do outreaches, even with the small budgets that we have. So this visibility now pushes every kind of need our way. So whenever they feel like they do not have anywhere to run to, they always come to check on, can Miss Koch help? So of course now that there are times it gets us off guard. You find that the few projects that you're running are restricted. The funds that you get are restricted and tailored for particular activities. But of course we cannot close the door on them. So what we do is we try as much as possible with the little resources that we have. We keep on resource mobilizing, and we are open to any kind of material support, labor support.
Just from us coming in here, you can see the massive poverty that is just expressed by what we've seen and the families that we've been able to visit. It is so heartbreaking to see a family without a meal in a day, and it's so heartbreaking to see that we cannot give enough to these particular families and the challenges that they encounter, the challenges that they've been facing. So I'm appealing to fellow Kenyans of goodwill, Kenyans who have so much that they don't know where to take. Please come in handy to support such families, and especially to those families that are receiving food hampers from teams like Pankaj. We are urging Kenyans of goodwill, send your donations, send your support, send just a food to feed a family. Even if it's one day, it goes a long way.